Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Bebop here. Today we're going to be going over Tempest, and this is the level 60 dungeon version. And I'll give you some tips for mutation also. Alzar Recall is where you'll get the faction mission for it. And then when you go up here to Murkgard, unlock the Invictus Shrine, and you'll run through the church to unlock the Tempest dungeon. You got to do this one time to get it to appear on the map, and then you'll never have to come back this way. If you haven't seen any of my other dungeons, I've been doing a whole series, so feel free to check out the playlist on my channel. And if you have any questions or any future comment or future video ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. I do answer back every comment. And if you want a specific video about something, let me know. I'll find some time to do it. Now, when you come up here, you don't have to do all this, what I'm doing right here, but just doing some extra, trying to get a hardened crystal out of there. No! Oh, yeah! Hardened crystal would be enchanted ward perk mod. So, I've gotten one out of there before, and I always hope to get another one, and never do. So, you walk back here. Enjoy the view. This is one of the best looking, if not the best looking dungeons in the game. Very gothic looking dungeon. It's got some good music in it, good fight scenes, and the loudest portals. When you go to these corrupted portals in the dungeon and you clear them, oh my god, it's so loud. I don't know why on my settings it's so loud. But anyways, here we are at the very front door, and we're going to go and unlock it. Now when we do that, we can go into the dungeon and bring our group in, and let's go. All right, now that we're inside, take your coatings, your honing stones, your food, your ward pot, all for corrupted, and then let's get on our way. Now, this dungeon, there is a full route that most new players will go. I'm going to show you the route that you should go unless you're wanting another name for loot. This route right here will be the best route for you to get used to for an M1 and an M2 and an M3 mutation. The thing about Tempest is it's the longest dungeon in the game. If you go the full route, no one wants to run that with you again. All right. They give you an hour to complete this in a mutation. Okay. So I'm going to show you the best way to do it. That still, you'll be highly set up for success. It will make you have a better time. It's not a speed run. It's just the run that you should go. It's like a normal quick run, okay? But it's not a speed run, all right? Anybody can do this. I used to do this way back when I first started tanking, and this is the route you should go. So I'll explain more as we get going. First of all, take out those two big guys. There's a fire moat that was to the left of those, and someone grab that. Take out the crawlers, or you can bring the crawlers down here. Now watch your footing on the stairs, tanks. You can get stuck on the left side. I came to the right, didn't relentless rush in time, got approached. So go ahead and slam down, taunt all the enemies. Try to group them up as best you can. Really, you want to have a hammer on you. I still had my sword on me from the Forge dungeon, and it didn't change. I was so exhausted by this point and wasn't thinking. I think I put it on sometime running through here, but you want to have a hammer for sure. I think this is where I do it. Now, when those mobs are almost dead, you can come up here. You can have someone spawn Isabella in, which is right there. Now, as you're fighting that mob downstairs, someone can run up here and do that, or you can pull that whole mob up and around to the side of this wall right here to my right, and that way all the other stuff will be spawning as you're killing the mobs. To me, for a new group of players, it's confusing. Don't do that. Just kill them where I killed them. Now, you can tell everybody to take out these mages first. The reason why I say that, you won't do that in a mutation. If you want to kill one, that's fine, but really, you don't need to kill any of them. Tank will be able to hold it, especially the healer with a tank. And what you're going to do as a DPS is you're going to get those corrupted pylons. There's 3 of them, and you're going to knock those down. So you're going to press E or X or square or whatever is on the controller, and you're going to break those down. And when you do that, crawlers will spawn in the middle. So I'm trying to kill these so I can show you what that looks like. DPS, you will be responsible for the crawlers in the middle. You will take them out as they spawn. This is not the tank's job. They can only handle so much because a big guy is going to spawn that he's going to have to hold also. So DPS should be on these crawlers, taking them out instantly, knocking down the ball here. When this ball goes away, the what did they say? The carapace? I don't know what that word is. You got this guy, the named enemy that spawns. Now, this guy will drop loot. So, in a regular, as you're ranking up, and even in an M1, M2, kill this guy. M3, if you need the loot, you can kill this guy, but you need to make sure that you communicate that with your team. Most people are used to skipping this guy by an M3. They're not there for necessarily the loot. Once the corrupted monolith is taken down, you walk up here. Once you cross the line, the doors will open. Now you will go through the double doors. Up to the left is where Isabella would be for the main story quest, but I don't have that, so I'm not worried about it. And here's the first shrine. All right, our healer disconnected, so we're just going to go on without her. So I come down here and I turn the music down. I had it up for Forge because Forge is the best sounding dungeon in the game. Gonna turn it down a little bit here so I don't get another copyright. I'll take one for Forge the Savage. All right, Forge the Savage. Hey, I'll take it. Not Tempest. But anyways, so we kill the crawler. You want to aggro this tentacle and do a better job than what I just did right there. And you would come over here as the tank. The crawler would be on you. Now the DPS should have the other tentacle down. He will de-aggro before they kill him, but they'll be able to handle it. If you have 1 or 2 knocks, don't matter. The shrines are up there, right where we just came from. This next group here, all right, it's very easy to lose aggro in this group. I kind of like to come right here and then put myself near the orange lights or the lava pit here and tell everybody, look, I'm going to be by the lava pit. They can all see that. Now, it also isolates the archer. At the very top of the screen, you can see his little feetsies. Now, one of the DPS should break off and get the archer because he will go after the healer. The healer would be able to back up around the wall and be all right, but in mutations, you'll skip those tentacles a lot of times, and they will be trying to reach out to y'all while y'all are hitting those mobs. So you might need to come around this corner a little bit. So it depends on how you run this, on where you want to put yourself, okay? But when I was always running regulars, I would put myself where I just showed you. There's 2 platinum veins to get. These dogs you always want to aggro and then bring with you. One thing I love about the greatsword is the quick taunt and move. You just taunt, you use calamity is what that's called, and you dodge and you simply keep it moving. Now, you want to take out this tentacle. Try not to go to the right too much because you will spawn a bunch of mobs. And stamina damage is really good against these tentacles because you want to get them to stop hitting. I don't know where my DPS is, man. There he is. Get the orichalcum. Now, up to my right, I show right there on that little, I don't know, triangle rock. You can have the healer go up there, and they will never be hit, okay? It works in mutations, too. Now, in M3s, your healer is going to be also doing damage, so that's not going to be a thing, or it shouldn't be a thing. Plus, the healer is usually putting down Oblivion, so you want the healer down on the ground putting down Oblivion. Now, you pull these mobs here just like this. Let the DPS go kill the musket man, or the bow man, sorry. And you take out the mobs. Now, when the next group spawns, you always want to have the DPS back up kind of where the gate is and just block. You would hold block until tank has aggro on all the mobs. It's not that easy to grab all the aggro right here, guys. Give your tank a little bit of credit, and there will be some de-aggroing at times. It just is what it is. Learn how to deal with it, all right? You're going to want to try to get to the M3s and be a big boy, big girl, and then you're going to have to learn how to deal with a little bit of aggro. You simply call it out. Hey, you got aggro on this guy. I'm bringing him to you. You know, let the tank know, hey, no big deal. I've been here before. I can deal with it. Start yelling at the tank about aggro. You're losing aggro. It gets so annoying. All right, we need all the tanks we can get, so please support your local tank. All right, once you kill the crewman here, crewman Ruizara. You want to go through the gates. Now, you're going to be fighting the Spriggan. So, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can go straight up to the Spriggan, have the DPS grab all the mobs. But if you come to this area right here, you can actually proc the Spriggan, which is the big boss. This guy's annoying to fight, y'all. So, decide what you want to do here. Now, what I would say is you aggro the Spriggan. If you stay behind this wall like this, what I'm showing, he will not fully come around. If you go back out, you can pull him to you, and all the DPS and the healer can go over to where the mobs are, and they can kill the mobs. Once the mobs are dead, then you could take this guy to the stairs and hold him between the stairs and a rock and be in a lot better position than this position. But if you just want to kill the Spriggan and skip the mobs, you can stay here and you won't have a great view of what's going on. But hey, you're a tank with like 300 con or 350 con. Don't ever go more than that unless you're doing some big skip, and you'll be just fine. Just don't fall off the edge to the right. So once you get this guy knocked down, tank, try to stay on your sword and shield. Hope you have the leadership ability. You want to try to rend the enemy as much as possible. Well, I have a great sword, so I'm just going to continue to hit. As you can see, there's really no control in this guy. He moves around a lot. That's why putting yourself up against the wall or a rock is the best way to do it. Now, I will kind of show you here briefly where that spot is, where I'll usually go to hold him down. But wanted to show you what the DPS could do in the meantime while you're holding the Spriggan is basically kill the mobs. Now right behind this chest, all right, you see that rock? Then you see where the stairs come down? That's where you would put your back toward the stairs. And you would be nice in a nice little cubby hole where the boss will not move you. And that way, the boss only will dance around in a short little area. It's really good to DPS the boss there. In my opinion, it's the best spot. You could choose if you want to take out these crawlers and all these enemies or not, but really we're just going to go straight through. Someone can get the gatherable. And if you have a purifying toast earring, or if you have rupture with the greatsword, obviously the slam down, you can get through this portal a lot faster. If you also have the flail and you do the vortex, you can get through the portal faster. Right here, I messed up. Relentless rush. I'm a little bit too far forward, so I couldn't bring all the mobs into me. Now, a great axe should be there to pull them together, so you shouldn't have to worry about that, because most likely you're going to be sword and shield or flail or, you know, whatever else you may be. A hatchet. I know a lot of people are wanting to run hatchet as tanks again, which is cool. Haven't seen that in some years, so good luck to you on that. After you kill these three, get the decapitated chest, and you're going to have a cellular key. Now you're going to go visit the demon. This demon, you would just want a front face. And here I go and slam down. And sometimes it'll spawn you backwards. So make sure you don't go back through the portal, ding dongs. And we're going to go around here. We're going to unlock the double doors. This guy, you're just going to front face, and as he backs you up or you back up, you can basically pull him to you, go up to the left, and that's where the exit is. Now in a regular, it doesn't matter because you're going to get the chest that's in here to our right. There's Orichalcum to the back right. But great sword damage against this guy is really good because you want to knock his stamina damage down to get him on the floor. I think we're going to kill him before you get to see that. So yes, if you take his stamina damage down, he will go on his knees for about 10 to 15 seconds, and you can DPS him down there. Don't forget the chest over here to get your good loot. And now we head to the next part. Don't forget your Orichalcum. That's why you need to rank up your mining. So don't forget to get your faction missions, and I mean, I'm sorry, not your faction missions, but your faction to do trade skill boxes, so that way you can rank up your trade skills without actually having to go out there and do it yourself. All right, skip these muskets. No reason to kill them. Just go past them. Unless you want them for weapon XP, that's fine. Now this is a spot where I tell you, you can go down to the right where a named is, but I always say skip that. There's a named enemy and a piece of Orichalcum down there. I would say skip it. Get used to doing it this way. Pull all the mobs. Have someone get that gatherable. You're going to pull all the mobs up here to the shrine. That way, in case anybody dies, they just spawn right back at the shrine. There's an Orichalcum piece to the left. And here's the shrine. Now pull them around this wall and let them come to you. One DPS will be in charge of getting the musky guy in the back. And all you're going to do is either you can kill this group of mobs, or you can go straight into Isabella's fight behind me through the double doors. Someone just has to walk up on the stairs to unlock the double doors. So it's up to you to decide if you want to kill this mob or not. Now, a reason why I say you want to get used to running like this, because this will help cut down your time from 55 minutes or so for the dungeon, you know, to like 40 or 45. It's a good little skip. Even if you go all the way through and forget those mobs in M1 and M2, it's a good little way to get past all that stuff and you don't waste time. Now, go on the left side here. You want Isabella's back toward the door because that's where we're going to be going out next. She will jump back a lot of times. try not to press too far forward, but at the very beginning, tanks, you need to get aggro, which means taunt, which grabs their attention. That is not really aggro, but you also, I guess that is aggro, but it's not threat. Threat and aggro, two different things. Threat, you got to put down damage consistently to keep their attention. The taunt would be the aggro. So two different things there. Don't just taunt and hide behind your shield. You will lose aggro and get your DPS and everybody killed. All right, this next spot, do it exactly how I do it here. Say DPS, I need someone to go up top. And that person will identify themselves. The other one will go over to the musket on the right. Say, hey, one of y'all get the musket on the right, or two DPS get the musket on the right. You quick aggro those two mobs. Also the dogs here. And then you just basically stay on your hammer until your crew gets here to help you. That way you can constantly stun all the mobs so they're not hitting you. Now, one DPS will go up top, clear that musket guy. They also get the two motes. And the other two DPS can kill the musket guy at the bottom. And then they come and help you out. You do not need to pull this around the wall. Don't ever do that strat. It is not what you should do. That's a 2021 strat, not a 2024, 25 strat, all right? Now, there is a box up here that you can get. There's the two life motes. So there's a chest here you can get, and there will be chests also you can get around that have candles in them. And if you find those, it's different than what it used to be when I first used to run these in regulars. There were basically certain spots. I think they moved now. Now those would be able to, you know, get you a chest toward the end by putting those wicks in a statue. Now, people just don't put those up or pay attention to them, so I'm not going to cover those in this guide, y'all. I know maybe somebody in the comments, well, you forgot about the candles you can put in the statues at the end. Yeah. I get it, I know, but it's not important, okay? We're getting through this so we can get to mutation and actually get real gear. The gear you're going to get in regulars, nothing you're going to use much, you know, going forward. You're constantly trying to rank up, all right? All right, so Isabella, you're going to go through her. Excuse me. And you're going to kill these two mages to the sides. Cultist. If you don't, she will grow just like that. That's what they just showed you. She basically gets empowered by those. Now, when you kill those, she gets back down to normal size. She doesn't hit as hard. She does a lot of thrust damage. So tanks, thrust shield ward, thrust amulet if you need to. And you just basically mow her down. When she gets to half health, that's when you get the door unlocked and you go to the next phase. Now DPS, pay attention here because Isabella will jump back a lot. Isabella is constantly moving, jumping back. This hit will not hit you if you're directly behind her anymore. It used to. It will not. The fireballs will, so be careful of that. We're just trying to show some of her different mechanics right here and what happens whenever more of those cultists spawn. She will get bigger in size. Just kind of waiting until another one would spawn so we can show you. Like, where are you? One does spawn here in a second. As you can see, she just got bigger and she hits harder. So you can take her out after that, and let's move on. This next phase, there's two ways you can go. You can go to the right to the shrine, or you can go straight ahead up here, and you're going to basically hold the mobs. You don't need to kill the mobs. And we're going to be taking on these big heads that shoot lasers. And we have miniguns to take them out. Don't forget this fire mode here on the left. There's a chest there on the left, and that goes to be one of those expedition chests that you want to get for all the good loot. And it's a good screenshot area right here. Now I'll put on a musket just to get a little bit more movement speed. Now, if you're a tank and you get a musket with accelerated traps, that's great. I could have kept going straight there, but I'm going to show you to go to the right to get the shrine. If you're speed running, you would have just kept going straight and fall off the side of the cliff. Those two ironwood trees you can grab. Here's a platinum van right around the corner. And that is the big head that spawns. Now I'm going to try to get aggro on these guys. I should have taunted. And then I'll pull this mob to me. I thought the rest were going to come to me, but I guess not. And then he got fried. So make sure you taunt to keep aggro. You can pull those mobs around the corner so you're not getting lasers. There's no need for you as a tank to come over here. It's just going to create confusion. But you can hold off on them. There's a glitch going on right now with the heads. They're not getting stunned anymore like they used to, so people are getting fried because they're not used to that, as you can see. So what happens is you shoot the eyes of the enemies. You could even shoot the head of the big head that's behind me in the sky, and you would stun him after a few shots when he gets like half health. Then he would put his head back down, and you continue to shoot him as long as you don't overheat your weapon, and you would take him out without him being stunned. People aren't used to that, and they get fried. So someone's gonna grab that box. In there is the light, and you will be protected from the lasers. Now, though, that light will do a lot of damage to these mobs. I should have got in there to show you the way that gun works, but I did not because I am a piece of crap. All right, get aggro on these tentacles as quick as you can and bring them over to one side so the light man don't get hit, because if he gets hit and that drops, that really sucks because you're not going to take the health down that fast of these things. So keep that in mind. Put a beacon or an eye shower on the lightman so you can speed them up. Once those two tentacles are killed, you can go ahead and make your way over here to the next gun. You can draw the laser onto you. And then we get in here. Oh, I do get in the gun. All right. So right there is when he would be stunned. So then I would let off a little bit, let my weapon cool down, and then I would keep shooting there to mow him down. So they're going to have that fixed by the 15th, I hope. And as a tank, I'm just going to try to run ahead here, grab aggro. And now you'll give Isabella the life, the staff, and then you will get your chest here, okay? It's going to give you some more loot. And once that's done, you're going to hit the shrine up here. You do not have to go toward the shrine. Even if you go hard left, you will basically hit the shrine, so don't worry about walking all the way up to it. Just cut left, you'll be fine. Go up the stairs. There's going to be a mage up here, similar to the one we fought just a minute ago in the white coat. Now, these mobs that are on the side are no threat. They're asleep, so they're not even paying attention. Don't worry about hitting those unless you just want some weapon XP or if you're trying to troll. And tanks, just come over here to the other side, aggro, and try not to taunt, because if you taunt, the guys on the wall will come off, and then you will have more enemies to kill. It's a little surprise for new players, all right? And they're expecting you to come in here and taunt to grab aggro on some of the mages or whatnot, and you'll grab all the dudes on the wall. Those statues are the ones I was talking about, where the candles or whatnot in certain chests around the map that are kind of hidden now. You know, you can put in there. I think there's 4 of them. And once you do, that one at the far back will spawn a chest, and you'll get another chest. Now, there is a chest of loot over there to the right, so I'm going to show you that. And not interested in the other one, so we're just going to go ahead. All right. This is a timed event here. That expansion of the corrupted ball thing will kill everybody if it gets too widespread. So you got to kill all these casters as quick as you can. So they're going to do that. You're basically, as a tank, going to grab aggro on all the mobs. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Just like, hey, come to me, come to me. I'm trying to constantly look around to see if I missed aggro on any mobs. There will be some de-aggroing. It's just going to happen. So be prepared for that. DPS, healer, be prepared for that. And just try to do the best you can. All right, once you're done with that, the mobs will go away. And we are on to the next named enemy. I would go ahead and kill this guy when you're coming here through a regular, because most people will be expecting it. He does drop loot, and usually it's better loot than a lot of other names throughout this dungeon. Now, I know it's like supposed to be random, but I always felt like this guy dropped more, you know, better loot. So go ahead and kill him. That's one thing I love about the greatsword, is when you're tanking with the greatsword, you will not be moved. You see how I'm not being moved? If you're sword and shield, he will move you. I just love that. The last boss at Starstone, that big boss is my favorite boss to greatsword tank, because the boss will never be moved, and it won't put the DPS in a bad position because the boss will not be turning at any point. This snake boss does not have a back. There will be no backstabs. Any weapons with rogue are useless. You're not proccing rogue at all. Proc means you're not engaging or having it do damage. So go ahead and taunt. There's going to be 3 phases of this boss. There is a skip on the 3rd phase, but you're not going to be able to do that. And unless you have a really good speedrun crew, you might not ever be able to do that. So I'm not going to cover that. Just want to throw it out there. All right. First phase, he goes underneath. In the regular, it doesn't look like you take any fire damage from the circles. I'm not sure if that's a bug or what, but I want to test that out here. So I took damage. Usually it would stack a burn on you the whole fight. It would never go away. And I noticed, hey, there's no burn stack. So, all right, maybe it was just I got lucky. No, that's just how it is now. So these are pretty easy to get through. This phase used to destroy new players and new groups all the time. And regulars, to be fair, used to be a lot harder than what they are now. Regulars used to be like M1s, you know, maybe M2s. And so, you know, it's a lot easier now. So he will randomly pick a target that's ranged and shoot the arrows at. And he will shoot rapid fire shots just like you would with a bow. He will shoot a, you know, penetrating shot also. So try to dodge those as best you can. Now, anywhere where these little minions spawn, that's where the next safe zone is going to be. So try to keep an eye out. Wherever they came from, that's where you want to move to. You can feel free to hold them. A lot of players want to hold them because they believe that that will keep you in the safe zone so you don't have to move around. It's, I don't know, such a coin toss. I'm not sure if that strat works or whatnot. Just look to where they're coming from and go. And that way you don't have a big mob of enemies toward the end where, you know, they're attacking the healer and all that stuff. Or you have to attack them as a DPS. You don't pay attention to the snake boss and now he's tail whipping you. There goes a penetrating shot. Normally you won't be standing in this fire because you will take so many stacks, it will kill you. It will constantly be ticking. I would have like 6 or 7 stacks by this point. When he spawns the orb, DPS need to go take out the orb as quick as they can. Those circles right there are void, so they will do void damage. Watch out for the shot. All right, 3rd phase. Now, last week's mutation was Tempest, and it had Weary. Weary procs at a certain amount of time, and that slows you down to about half speed. So, when you have to run all the way across on this part, half speed, a lot of people were taking burns last week. So, holding the enemies, doing that strat would probably be the best idea, and that's what I would say do. And just see how you go. I mean, most time if you do hold all the mobs, you will be in the safe zone over and over and over. But it does change at times. Not sure what the full mechanic is. I don't know if anybody's ever figured that out fully. So, that's up to you. If you don't have Weary, not a problem. Watch out for the tail whip. You just got to time it as DPS. Same thing with that. Penetrating shot. And now he's dead. And now we go fight Isabella. You go from one boss to the next boss. Don't forget your chest on the way out. That portal to the left will take you back to the front portal. I don't know why you would need to do that. There might be a portal at the beginning that takes you right to here. I'm not sure. Never had to take it. So, don't even worry about it. No secret boss in that portal. Actually, I should have told you that there was a secret boss so you could go through and find it. Such a troll, man. That'd be hilarious. Anyways, Isabella, there is a long entrance here before the gate goes up. So you can start this fight probably 20 seconds before the next person even comes in. So what I always do is just run in here and I tell everybody to hurry up. But I will show you how long it takes to spawn. Now you can decide what side you want to be on as a tank and just tell your DPS healer to be on the opposite side. I usually like picking this side, have everybody else on the other side. And that way I can back her up here, give everybody room to work with. And the healer usually takes off, or DPS usually take off to those other 2 circles. You'll see a bow DPS or musket DPS doing that, or the healer being way out there. So I just go ahead and let them do their thing. So this boss does a lot. Majority of her damage is thrust. There is some slash attacks. So thrust amulet's really good on her. or you can go slash, depending on what you want to do. I would say thrust. And now I reverse sides on the DPS just to throw them a curveball. And block that. That's a big thrust attack. She will spawn pillars when she gets to a certain health. That right there is slash. And that backward hit she does with her wing is very powerful. So watch out for that. All right, now she's going to spawn a portal. These portals, if you're tank, you can stay in and tank down if you want. I choose not to. DPS healer can do that. I want to come over here and go ahead and position her where my team and can start doing damage. It's more important, I think. So I like to back up so they have plenty of room. If you do not back up and give your DPS and healer room to work with, that's just not a good move as a tank. If you go over there to chase her and trap her in the corner there and you don't give your teammates area to move, that's your fault. So you need to stay where I was. She came to me and now they got all that room back there for activities. So I reposition myself here again to where it puts them in a favorable position. I'm the tank, I got plenty of con, I will be just fine. A lot of those slashes you could take, the one you don't want to take is the last hit. So all the other ones you could basically just accept and then block the last one. All right, if you don't get those pillars down, she will spawn one here and you will have raining meteors around the whole map, and that's going to get everybody killed. But we're going to take her down quick. And that is the end of Tempest, ladies and gentlemen. That is Isabella. She is done for. Don't forget this part. If you do not do this part, she wipes everybody with a big blast, and then you got to do the fight over again, okay? And don't be a troll and get this down to really low and then stop doing it and then make everybody die, okay? Don't do that, please. A lot of veterans will be expecting that. That is an old troll trick, all right? We know your game plan. I'll be right here waiting on somebody to do that so I can press the button. But that is Tempest. A really cool dungeon. Really long dungeon. But, it's an awesome looking one too. Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of different, things to do in this one. And there's a lot of different paths you can go. The shortcuts I wasn't going to show in this video. I think they'll be patched by the time the 15th comes out. But if you saw any of my mutation videos from last week, you saw us do the speedruns and shortcuts. So feel free to check out that stream. I stream live every day on Twitch. So feel free to stop by and check it out. If you like the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next one. Later.